DJ LeRoy.
NightWatchman, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. We're back.
We are back, and we're surviving the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, there's nothing better, let's say, to help you survive the heat than checking out some live theater in the park. What do you think about that?
Nothing better. Nothing better.
That's right. So a lot of times,
by the way,
yes,
our heat is not that bad. It's 120 degrees in Las Vegas. You know.
But NightWatchman, it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat, okay? Yeah. but NightWatchman, what do you care? You don't care about no daggone global warming. You believe it's a Chinese myth. That's what he told me. Yeah. Gotcha. Uh-huh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Soul Lounge Primetime. It's going to be a good popping show because I'm excited. We have two virgins joining us. It's going to be the first time on Soul Lounge Primetime. You know, one of them can only be somebody who I consider, like, if they're having a residency there in Marcus Garvey Park, it can only be Carl Cofield. Could only be. Yes. What's up, buddy?
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you so much for the invitation. Ready to chop it up.
I'm loving it. Loving it. Now, NightWatchman, you know she's just returned there from, of course, from Spain, okay? But she has said that she would grace us here on Soul Lounge Primetime. It could only, you know how some people have to think just one word names? Sade!
You are wild.
Yes.
I'm here for it. And I'm
yes.
here for it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know, we're not gonna bring the heat.
You already
Wow. Well, like I said, this should be always, because he's been on here numerous times. Soul Lounge Primetime featuring Ty Jones. Yeah. What's up, y'all?
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we're gonna get it popping. So Sade, welcome back. And I definitely have to hit on you because you got an enormous little project happening right there on Fifth Avenue. Do tell me about NBT's massive project.
Yeah, so National Black Theater, which is the longest running Black theater in New York City, right here in Harlem on 105th Avenue, is undergoing a renaissance, if you will. Our founder, Dr. Barbara Ann Tier, bought this city block in 1983, and we have the incredible, with support with day one support from you, Curtis. A journey to own our property and to bring what Dr. Tier's vision has always been to Harlem, which is to create an ecosystem for artists to live, work, and serve. So we're building this incredible mixed-use building that will house the new National Black Theater, more community spaces, rehearsal spaces. We'll be able to do what we do, but better with deeper impact. And so we're doing ground up construction right there on 125th. And I know because of COVID and everything else, people are like, oh my God, what happened to NBT? But we're coming back stronger than ever. Should be opening our doors in 2026.
Beautiful. You know what? Knowing that, and Ty, we go back a long ways.
Yeah.
And finding, let's say, a permanent home for classical theater in Harlem has been, as I say, a challenge in the new evolving Harlem. But having said that, I do know when the summer hits, and I know where to go. I know to go to Marcus Garvey Park. So tell me about what's happening.
Hi, thanks for having me again. We are presenting Midsummer Night's Dream, directed by the gentleman that is gracing the screen today, Carl Cofield. Before we start, I just want to say, Sade, congratulations on everything. I can't wait to perform in the space. And I can't wait to reel in Curtis Archer for maybe Classical Theater of Harlem could have a permanent home as well one day. So, I'll just look at the blueprint that Sade has put out.
Okay.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, we're at Marcus Garvey Park from now through July 28th. We're presenting A Midsummer Night's Dream. I don't know if folks know this, but our friends downtown in Central Park are under renovation at the Delacorte. So in terms of professional outdoor theater at a dedicated space, we're the only Shakespeare in the Park in town. And so
nice.
Feel lucky that Carl Cofield, Associate Artistic Director, is the captain of this ship. And boy, is it extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Yeah.
Nice. And Carl, I mean, I have to ask you, this particular collaboration there with classical theater and the relationship with Ty, how far back does it go? And are you always excited every summer that, you know what, you're going to be popping there in the park?
Yeah, so the relationship with Ty, we go back like rocking chairs. I mean, we go back like, back early young bucks trying to, pound the pavement as actors. So the relationship, I'm happy to say, is, 20, 30 years old.
Wow.
I'm privileged every summer that I have the opportunity and the platform and to work with, let's be clear, artistic visionaries like Sade and Jonathan at MBT and Ty Jones. I think when the history is written, those names will be in the pantheon of great American theater makers and artists and people who build institutions for the generations of thinkers and creators to come later. So I want to just harp on a word that Sade used. I do believe we're in a renaissance. And I believe with institutions like MBT building these 21st century buildings for artists to come, and what Ty Jones is doing by the sheer force of his will is something that really, really, really cannot be underscored enough. So when I have the opportunity to present A Midsummer Night's Dream for the Classical Theater of Harlem, our marching orders were we wanted it to be a love letter to Harlem. That was really the driving force behind getting all of these fantastic creatives, actors, and designers, and that was our aim. Nothing short of excellence on that stage.
Nice. And certainly we know Sade now. I didn't tell you that, but my guy there, NightWatchman, he's a spoken word artist.
First of all, I know everything about NightWatchman and Bob. He's a legend, right? So we're just what this evening is. It's a bunch of Harlem legends doing what we do best, which is chop it up. I do want to just quickly say, I cannot underscore more. It's also free and it's family-friendly programming that CTH brings to Harlem every year. It is first-class productions for our community. It is not just Shakespeare in a Park, but it's Shakespeare in the Park through the lens that only the brilliant Carl Cofield could do, that takes this, canon of work that sometimes doesn't feel like it belongs to our people and places it directly into the center of why it's resonant all of these years later. And so I'm excited to bring Thelonious and Thomas to Marcus Garvey Park, and it's free. And I think, this kind of work that Carl is describing, that I'm talking about, that Ty is tirelessly institution building, also needs to be supported. Like, we have been here for generations, but we don't stay here without the support of our people in our community. So I will just say, we want everyone to join the drive to support the work that MBT is doing, but also CTH is doing, because it's not only important work, it's work that comes from us, by us, for you all. So please do catch us in the streets of Harlem, but definitely while Midsummer Night's Dream is up at Marcus Garvey Park. It's literally the most exciting event every summer.
Wow. Okay, NightWatchman. Before I go to Ty, man, NightWatchman, how much money did you promise Sade? Just check.
That's between me and her. It's none of your business.
Wow. Okay.
Right. We have each other's number.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, let's give credit to this group of people we have and understand the legacy that they are a part of. We've had the Godfather, Vosa Rivers, on many times on our show.
True.
And he's the living link to the Ozzie Davises and the Ruby Dees. And and all of the
Barbara Ann's here. You're right.
Hooks.
Absolutely.
There's a tradition and a culture here that has been going on for some time, and we're talking to the current torchbearers of that tradition. So should not be. We should not understate or underestimate how important the work that these three are doing in our community to keep this part of our culture not just alive but thriving.
Absolutely. And you know what? I was going to segue to you, Todd, because certainly you've been in these streets. Folks know you. Certainly, we do know when you have the residency there at Marcus Garvey Park, the electeds come out, say their remarks and stuff like that. And do tell me, do you feel that you're getting sufficient support from the electeds? What can be done more to make sure that CTH is there and that future home that we talk about? You're on mute.
There are two things. Thank you for the question, by the way. So there's two things. One is we would love to have a sense of permanency there, similar to what the Delacorte has in Central Park. Now, when we look at the history, there's sort of a special relationship between New York City, Delacorte, that was made many, many years ago. So I'm not necessarily saying that same special relationships has to happen, but I'd love to be able to have one in which we know that we have a sense of permanence during the month of July, because I think we are, and we've demonstrated that we're a public good. During the run of the show, we make sure that other cultural institutions can play before our shows. So we're going to be having Harlem Opera and Harlem Chamber Players play before our show this year. And in the past, we've had Young People's Chorus of New York City. We've had Dream Center Harlem. And of course, every Friday night you see Jazzmobile, which is extraordinary. They're absolutely extraordinary. The second thing is this, and this one, I don't mean to turn the temperature up a little bit, but go ahead. Is that sometimes I feel like the ghost of Robert Moses is still alive. And I've been still fighting for access to the bathrooms in Pelham Fritz.
No.
And at this point, I'm just, this is where you bring people like Carl in, people who had that sin, or even Sade, who's real cool. I'm truthfully just getting, I'm getting pissed now. I really am. I feel like I should go to the press at this point, because the Pelham Fritz is, the bathrooms are 50 feet away. I have 40 people backstage and one bathroom to use. So all we're asking is for us to have access to the Pelham Fritz. And I get nonsensical procedural things that I'm told. We've offered to have private security to sit in the desk just so that we can keep it open from the time we enter the park, which is roughly around 6:45 or so, until we leave the park, which is roughly 11 o'clock. We'll pay that, 4 or 5 hours of overtime for anyone to sit there for the 20 days that we're there. And and there are, I'm going to take a little something from what Carl said about naming names. So one person in particular that we have resistance from, his name is Ken Conyers. And I don't know why. He may have a problem with me. I don't know what it is, but it's time for these things to stop. I don't know what is less dignified than having to be suggested that we should have a porta-son outside for us. We're going to separate bathrooms now. We're going to take this back to 1950 now. This is ridiculous. There's lots of things to argue about. I shouldn't be arguing about bathrooms.
No, I hear Ty. You have the commitment on the other hat that I wear to assist you in trying to move this dialogue forward. And Carl, as I say, what do you say? You can't make this stuff up. You can't. Yeah.
No, it's unfortunate, but I don't want to take us back. But my grandfather was a deacon in the church, and he said every time that blessing is about to come, the devil jumps up to try and put an obstacle in front of it. So, I, as an artist and a supporter of these institutions, say, let's just keep making Black excellence.
Yes.
And, hopefully we get that crowd swell to say, hey, these institutions matter to us. And not only to think that some place like an Alvin Ailey or the public would be dealing with these type of minimal issues is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So
Sade said something to me one time, and I'm always going to take it with me. There's a distinction between being appreciated and being valued. So I want the electeds, and let me say this about the electeds. I had a fight for a little while about the outdoor bathrooms that would make available to our audiences. We've
they're open now.
We got that one. We got that one. There was another battle around air conditioning backstage. And here, got the same nonsense about something's wrong or you're the reason why it's not working. And then last year was I had it, so I called 4 politicians up. I called Gail Brewer. I called Cordell Clear.
Yeah.
I called Mark Levine.
Yeah.
And Keisha Sutton as well.
Nice.
48 hours later, we had air conditioning.
And Ty, those 4 that you mentioned have been big supporters of the arts and cultural institutions in the community. So good shout out. Nice.
So that's what it is. I love that folks will say they appreciate what we do, but if you want to value us, let's make sure that these boxes get checked, the easy boxes,
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to come across as that angry person or the person. I don't. But I there were people a generation before who fought these fights, and we're standing on the shoulders. And I shouldn't be fighting these same fights. Let me fight some other fight. But
just say something just to kind of elevate.
Yes, go ahead, my dear.
Bathroom. So we're talking about bathrooms because that's what's happening in this moment. I think the thing that our institutions and institutions like Studio Museum of Harlem and the Apollo Theater, one of the things that we take great pride in is the dignity of our culture and the dignity of our people. You can go anywhere in the world and you say community theater or community access, and people think that it's subpar. But the one thing that we are committed to doing and to bringing above Central Park, above, Times Square is not only, the heartbeat of our culture and the vibrancy of our community feeding that, but also to do it with deep integrity and with deep dignity that our people often get dismissed from having access to. And so I think as we have these conversations about being torchbearers, I mean, I don't even know if I feel like a torchbearer because my mother, we made our Broadway debut last season. We came back to Broadway, bringing Ossie Davis's Pearly Victorious, MBT through Kara Young, who's a board member of CTH, won her first Tony. So MBT won its first Tony. When we talk about a work that was disregarded 62 years ago, that we had the privilege to produce on Broadway, win a Tony, and the Tony winner is a Harlem own.
Yes.
What we're talking about, putting, Harlem back on the map, but not just because there is a legacy, but because we understand that our fight needs to look different, that the revolution can look like deep care, that the revolution and progress can look like seeding dignity and integrity in the cultural values that we bring forward. And so I just think that to elevate this conversation, this is bigger than a bathroom. This is bigger than, this is about all of us, our friends in government, the folks that hold power, the cultural bearers, the institution builders, saying not only is our culture important, but our dignity and our humanity, and doing it at a first class level is what we've been owed to us. And so we refuse to sit down, to shut up, compromise, because for our people and our community, you have to see it to be it. So this kind of first class free programming that CTH is bringing to Marcus Garvey should be met with that same sense of quality, of uncompromising rigor, because our kids are watching us. the next generation are watching us and they're seeing what they deserve based on how we are valued. And so, that is a part of the mission. It is not just to entertain our audiences, but it's also to set the bar, because that is what Asi and Ruby did. That is what Dr. Tier did. That is what Roger Furman did. That is the tradition that we will continue to bring to our community. So it's wonderful to be entertained, but it's even more catalytic to be met in our fullness and our excellence. And so I just implore everybody who's having these conversations to ask the question that don't make sense, because what we're doing also in this 2024 is we're making common sense common again. And it doesn't make common sense not to have bathrooms, and it doesn't make common sense to not support financially with policy, with power, what is shifting the cultural lens of Blackness in the world, which is what Harlem is doing right now on the corner of 125th Street.
Absolutely. Carl.
Now that was spoken by a true torchbearer.
Yes,
Sade. So I don't know if you had any reservations about it. You were looking like Statue of Liberty with dreads, okay? And Statue of Liberty was conceived originally as a black woman. So
NightWatchman. Okay, so Carl, please take it further. Go ahead.
Wow, I'm just here again, just being in this space with these artistic leaders is extraordinary. And Sade, I couldn't agree with you more. And that was so beautifully articulated and elevated.
Yes.
I really am sort of at a loss for words, but I agree with everything that the panel has said so far. We're at a real important moment. Going forward. And to take it back to Midsummer Night's Dream, some of the things that are happening makes you wonder, are you dreaming? Is this a nightmare or is it a beautiful dream? And, let's, hopefully the stars align, the music comes back and the spheres come back together and we make beautiful art based in that kindness, based in that dignity, and based in that sort of community feel. And I, like Sade, don't think that community theater, although sometimes it has a negative connotation, the way we do it uptown.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. And Ty, I think NightWatchman, correct me if I'm wrong, but we were having a conversation with one of the guests, right? And we were talking about, let's say, theater. And I know that back in the day, we had the public theater, Joseph Papp, that there was a club there. At one point, a sure enough get down party club, which then of course was acquired, and thus we have the public theater. What is your knowledge about the history of that particular space there off of Lafayette, man? Tell me.
You're asking me, or you're
no, Ty?
Okay.
So no, I don't know enough about the history. I know more about Joe Papp, the man.
Go ahead.
I've got the chance to talk to Gail. And to sort of mine the jewels of her mind,
nice,
around what it was to be, what is considered probably, one of the most important theater makers in living memory. And it was great because she was able to sort of share with me, what the struggles were. The good times were good, but there were peaks and valleys.
Yes.
And and some of his friends as well, said sometimes he would experience nervous breakdowns and things like that. But you can credit where Broadway is today.
Yes.
Joe Papp. But at the end of the day, what I would love to be able to take from somebody like him is his doggedness. He would fight with the New York Times. He would fight with Robert Moses, and sometimes I feel like the ghost of Robert Moses is still around. And so I'm not looking to fight, but I know that sometimes that fight or flight sort of instinct in me is to jump to that fight, and so learning what it is to find ways to call people in rather than calling them out. I stole that one from But that muscle I need to work on. But I also think what Joe Papp was able to do. There's sort of a path that I'm essentially following, in that there is, he had the park.
Yep.
Was able to gain momentum from that, and then eventually was able to make a deal. I guess it was for $1. Became a CIG eventually.
Yes.
Astor Place. So
nice.
Now nice. I don't think that my dream and goal of having our own home isn't a vanity project. It would be a home for Harlem Opera, Harlem Chamber Players, and the Classical Theater of Harlem. I would love to be able to have call it the Harlem Classical Arts Complex, an artistic home for the 10-year-old version of all of us. So I appreciate the man, Joe Papp, as a visionary. I don't know all the details about Astor Place itself and how it was acquired, other than the general information that I think we all know. So,
excellent. And you know what? Okay, so I'm putting this out there because we certainly do know there are two iconic spaces along 125th Street. The other one is, of course, on technically 126th and 2nd Avenue, and that, of course, is the African Burial Ground space. That's one. The other one, of course, right across from the Apollo. Everybody knows about it. It is city-owned, and that, of course, is what? You got it. And so a city, once again, will be releasing an RFP for both those sites. So, as they say, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because we know it's going to happen. And Sade, please, Sade, I got to give some major props to, because in your family, you have somebody who definitely has a real estate background. Can you say Michael?
Our board chair, my brother Michael Lythcott. Yeah, he has been stewarding our real estate holdings for the last, 20 years or more, more and more. And he sits on the board of, I just joined the board of 125th Street Bid. So I'm very
nice. Okay.
On as a proprietor and a business owner on the corridor. But Michael also sits on the board of Uptown Grand Central.
Yes.
In East Harlem. So we're a family that's committed to our community. And, we feel like our community, no matter how the winds of real estate and neighborhood change, they try to change our name every, 5 that Harlem should feel like a home to our people, and home is where your exhale feels best. And we have to be vigilant. I don't think we need to fight, though sometimes fight is required, but we have to be vigilant. We cannot sleep on this job, because this job is about liberating and freeing our people. It's about shaping culture and creating a new and unimagined tomorrow. So there is no sleep. There is no rest for the weary, because that is the work of the cultural organizations of Harlem. It's more than just what you experience when you purchase a ticket. It is this vision, or as the NightWatchman says, working in the continuum of. So we're really excited about that. I will just want to shout out and say, obviously, CTH always has a home when MBT has a home.
Nice.
Seminal, successful, impactful, artistically excellent pieces were brought to us through CTH in partnership. So, our first, in my leadership tenure, our first partnership with Joe Papp's Public Theater came through Ty.
Wow, nice.
We co-produced the world premiere of Dominique Morisseau's Detroit 67 together. And then, of course, we did the 40th anniversary of Dutchman, Amiri Baraka's play.
Yes.
And on and on and on. Rada Blanks' Seed was brought to National Black Theater's venue through CTH and Hip Hop Theater Festival, which is now High Arts. So we are a family. We are a community. Yes, CTH deserves and will get a permanent home, because they are tenacious. And to also say, a part of the work of this village that is beloved called Harlem, and why it's like no other village on the planet, is because we meet each other where we're at, grab each other by the hand, and take each other higher. So I just want to say publicly, as long as we have a home, y'all have a home, and I hope you know that.
Thank you. That perfect. And NightWatchman, I was there for all of those performances. Where were you? Anyway, on another note, Ladies and gentlemen, this is our lightning round. We're going to close it out there. So yeah, I got shots fired. Shots fired. That's right.
Run. Okay, that's all right. I'll save something for you for the second segment.
Oh, wow.
But in the
Carl,
meantime,
yes.
Yes.
No, we got Carl. Some final remarks. And, buddy, tell us where the audience needs to be.
Marcus Garvey Park, the Richard Rogers Amphitheater, Tuesday through Sunday, 8:30 for a Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And Ty, after Midsummer Night's Dream, where should we go? Where's CTH going to be?
You should fly to LA. We're going to be at the Getty Museum. As a matter of fact, Carl's doing double duty. He's going to be directing a world premiere production of a play called Memnon. I'll let him speak a little bit more about that. But if we're talking about the lightning round and sort of coming to a conclusion, this is what I'd love to say, is that I would love for the leadership of New York City, as well as those who love theater and arts in New York City, to know that Classical Theater of Harlem is great for New York City.
Excellent, excellent. Carl, tell us about what you got going on in LA, man.
World premiere of Memnon, the only Black character mentioned in the Iliad. World premiere by brother Will Power, who graced our stage. He's the King, the Seven. So that's at the Getty Villa in Los Angeles. We'd love to see you there.
Nice. And shout out Kara. Congratulations, Tony, baby. We love you. Wait,
Sade gets the last
I know. Night Watchman. You're not correct. Wow.
Let the lady speak. Come on.
Sade, bring your heat. Bring your fire, babe. Come on.
Just to say that, we are building the premier destination for Black theater in the country on a corner of 125th and 5th Avenue. There is no other place on the planet that commissions, produces, develops, preserves Black theater legacy the way that we are doing, both on Broadway and off Broadway. So I really implore everyone who can hear my voice to, log on to our website, give a gift if you can, participate in our capital campaign. And just to say this is not about MBT. This is about giving our people something we have never had since we were stolen from our land in Africa, which is a home.
Yes.
We need to be able to point to somewhere where we always are welcomed in our full dignity. And I will say, lastly, everyone should be supporting local Black, BIPOC cultural organizations in this election year, where affirmative action is being erased, where our books are being banned, and our history is being censored. There is no more powerful medium than storytelling, because who lives, who dies, who tells the story shapes the culture, the policy, changes the hearts and the minds of tomorrow. So what we're doing is essential work that deserves not only to be celebrated, but supported, because it is the way we all get free.
Absolutely. Sade, that was a great closing remarks. Night Watchman, would you like to take us home, or should I jump in there again?
Time on WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. Thank you for joining us. We're always here on Monday nights. Check us out.
All right. Y'all, thank you. Wonderful